Hello, precious people of the earth. I am so excited to be here again with you. Today we have a bit of a delicate discussion, so I thought it'd be fitting to start off with a positive point. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Everything you can imagine is real. Pablo Picasso. That's very nice. That one was for you guys. Okay, now let me get one for me. Let's see. Oh, this one is a thick one. No. Okay. Don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. You can go as far as your mind lets you. What you believe, remember, you can achieve. Mary Kay Ash. That was definitely mine. That was for me. Okay. All right, guys. So today we are going to have a discussion about distorted love. Now, this is a very delicate discussion that we're going to have. So I do want to thank you in advance for listening with an open mind and a kind heart. So first off, in order to paint you a picture of this story I'm going to tell, we do have to do a little bit of time travel. So we're going to time travel a little bit back to my younger days, and I want to give you guys an understanding of kind of what it was like in my childhood and my upbringing. So I grew up as, you could say, a PK, so a preacher's kid. My mom is an ordained minister, and my dad was very invested in the Hispanic ministries whenever it came to translating. So we would always be in the background, like behind the scene of the churches that we would go and help out with. My mom and dad worked closely with the pastors of the church, and so we were always at the church. We were always at the church, always there for setup, breakdown, just helping the church in any way that we could. And so we had a very busy lifestyle when it came to working in the church setting. Now, with that, during our childhood, we were also taught to do things with excellence, as you should. And so my sister and I, we were often in the eyes of many people. It just always felt as though the spotlight was on us, that people were always looking at us. And so my mom taught us accordingly to make sure that, you are sitting up straight, you are speaking with respect and speaking eloquently, and making sure that you are doing everything with excellence, which is a wonderful way to be raised. And definitely I commend my mother, because I think we turned out pretty good. But I think for me, I took that to an extreme, and unfortunately I took doing things with excellence as a way of perfection, doing things perfect. So I kind of missed that mark. I kind of misunderstood that whole concept, which was, I just thought, okay, so people are looking at us, people are paying attention to our family, we're in the spotlight a lot of the times. That means I need to be perfect. I need to have the perfect image. And whenever I looked at my family, that's what I saw, the perfect image. My mom, she was a stay-at-home mom. My mom and my dad decided together that my mom would be the primary caregiver of my sister and I. And my dad, he worked outside of the home to provide financially. And so we had what I saw to be the perfect family. Just the Mohicas, that's what I saw the Mohicas to be. And so moving forward, there was a bump in the road. There was an unfortunate setback to our perfect family. We all experienced a divorce between my mother and my father. And with that came a lot of different changes and adjustments. Now, during that time, both my parents were going through many different things. They had a lot of things that they had to take care of and figure out. And during that time, I definitely had to step up in the household. And I do think that I had to grow up a little bit sooner than I would have hoped. For my experience, I definitely felt that it was my responsibility. I needed to make sure that I filled in the gaps for wherever things were lacking. And so with that being said, I did take on a lot of compassion fatigue, being there for both my mother and my father, being the mediator, also taking on the role of parenthood for my sister. My parents were not in the emotional state to really do anything other than focus on themselves and the relationship, which it was so imperative for them to do so. And so I stepped up, and I became the mediator, the parent, the decision maker, just the person that really took on all of the anything stressful, anything that would cause more stress or bring more stress to the scene. And I did that willingly because I saw that there was a crack in my perfect family, and I was going to hold us all together no matter what it took. So with that being the case, a few years passed, and the separation took place, and soon enough I was going to be going into college. Now, that would have been a very exciting experience, although there was definitely a certain level of pain that was still there that had not been addressed. And I think subconsciously that was something that I didn't realize. I did not recognize that because I was so busy working to make sure that I held my family together and was holding everyone else on my back that I didn't really have time to grieve and process everything that was happening for myself and the emotions that I was experiencing. So going into college, I was very bitter. I was very cold, very calloused, and just very firm and serious because I had to be the adult for so long. I didn't really know how to relax or let loose or have a good time. That just wasn't something that I was familiar with anymore. I didn't really know how to be a kid anymore. And so with this new chapter of my life, there were different people that I was introduced to during that time. And one of those people was a guy. And in my experience, this guy was very persistent with trying to speak with me, hang out with me, wanted my attention. I wanted nothing to do with him. I was not attracted to him. I was annoyed by him. I thought he just was not my type whatsoever. He was the complete opposite of what I would have picked for myself in that stage of my life. But needless to say, I did end up, giving in because of how persistent he was. And I was just like, well, okay, we can hang out. We could be friends. Little did I know that would be opening the door to the downfall of my life. That was one of my biggest mistakes, was letting this person in. During our encounter together, this individual was older than me, and I do believe that it was a matter of taking advantage of me. I was in a very vulnerable state. I was broken. I was bruised. I was very weak. I didn't really have any more strength to take care of myself because I had been taking care of so many other people. And so when this individual entered my life, it was a matter of manipulation being present. It was a matter of sweet nothings being said to me to ensure that I would be giving in to what he wanted. And I'm going to be very candid with you. This individual wanted to be intimate with me, And I was very, very straightforward, telling him, no, I am a Christian. I have saved myself. I've been saving myself my entire life. This is what I'm doing. I'm not going to put myself in that position. Now, at a certain point, I remember thinking to myself, you have done everything that everyone has wanted you to do your entire life. You have put on a show for so many people. You have been the perfect little doll to go with this perfect family, this perfect image that has been created. And I became angry. I became so mad because I had no idea what I wanted. I knew that I loved God. I knew that I wanted to save myself, but somewhere along the line, that desire to save myself became so much more so the title or the name tag that was attached to me, Frizzell, the one saving herself, and it lost its value. I attached that to being perfect, to being clean, to being, the idea of being untouched. Just that perfectionism was wrapped all up in that concept. And so after a while of pondering this thought and the anger brewing and the enemy feeding things into me that he knew he could get my attention with because of how broken and bitter I was, I ended up spending time with that individual in that way. But unfortunately, that was not the end of it. That relationship turned into a very abusive relationship. I experienced hearing things from this individual such as, your body is my body. If we're not doing this, then there's no reason for me to be in your presence. I was being emotionally and sexually abused. I was mentally and physically in pain. After some time, I was able to gather some strength and realize that this is not what God had intended for me. This man had taken advantage of me in so many ways. I was a victim. I was coerced. I was manipulated. And it wasn't what my Heavenly Father wanted for me. So, I was finally able to release myself of this person, and it soon became a matter of a long term of me starting my healing process. I was even more so broken and bruised, and it seemed like the pain and the hurt kept going and going. It was a snowball effect that never ended until I met what I felt to be the love of my life. Now, this individual, he was a breath of fresh air. He was something that I had never experienced. He was kind. He was gentle. He was everything that the other person was not. Now, mind you, my first experience of love was with someone that taught me that my body was not my own, that I was supposed to be for the man's pleasure, and that a woman's body was for recreational use. The gentleman that came into my life after that was the complete opposite in every way, and ensured that I could trust him and that he would be there to protect me. Now, as this relationship evolved, it had its issues, as most relationships do, although there were some other issues that were not necessarily the healthiest. So what I felt was an angel that walked into my life after dancing with the devil. It turned into another beautiful nightmare. Now, this individual had habits. He had addictive habits. And that was a very impactful part of our relationship. He would use drugs any chance he got, almost every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. And it was a matter of it consuming him, and it caused so many issues within our relationship, and it was now again not a healthy relationship. There were arguments about money spent on the drugs used rather than being able to go out on dates or to spend time with me in the way that I wanted to without him being high. It was a matter of me begging seemingly for the attention that I so desired to have. Once again, I was in a situation where I was loved in a distorted way. I was once again taught that the only way I could be loved was out of convenience. And I had to find the strength to understand that once again. Yet this time, I did not do the walking away. This individual had another habit of leaving me over and over and over again. Being with this individual was as if I was holding my breath, because I never knew when the next time would be that he would come to me and say, I don't think I'm happy anymore. And that didn't just happen one time. It happened over and over and over and over again until there was nothing left. Until there was silence. And he was gone. And that was the end of that relationship. Now, during my reflection of this relationship, I understood that unfortunately I had put this person on a pedestal. I felt and believed that this was the best relationship I had ever been in, that it was the healthiest. Because one thing that was glorified during that relationship was the fact that he had the ability to make me feel at peace. As you all know, I have struggled with anxiety for much of my life. I had been tormented for years upon years upon years, never experiencing rest. But when this individual came into my life, I experienced a calm that I had never known. And as he was addicted to his drugs, I became addicted to what I thought was love. The love that I thought that could bring me peace and comfort for my own demons. But I'm here to say to you today that with all that pain of holding on to someone that didn't really want me, I've learned that the true peace comes from my Heavenly Father. I'm now in a place where I am in a relationship that is so pure and is so beautiful, because I know that my Heavenly Father loves me just as much as I love him, and even more. I've experienced so many instances, whether it be from family or friends or romantic relationships, where I have loved so much harder than the other person. But with my Heavenly Father, that is someone that I know has loved me the way that I deserve to be loved. And as I'm in this healing process and learning more and more about love and what it is to be loved and what it is to love, I now know that I am not that girl that was loved by the devil or the angel. I'm a righteous child of God, and I deserve love that is so sweet and so pure, like my Heavenly Father has given me. And I want to let you all know today that even if you have experienced some pain in your life, even if you are broken, even if you are bitter, even if you have been in a situation where you've been taken advantage of, even if you are the victim, there's a God that loves you. You are valuable. You are precious. You are important. And you have a purpose. I want to thank you all for listening and tuning in today for this very serious topic. Please note that if you have any further questions or if you need any guidance in a situation that you're experiencing, I'm here. I'm free to talk to you. I'm free to listen. I want to be there and be able to be the light of Christ. If you are experiencing something that is so painful such as this, I pray that my story has been an inspiration and that it can help you. And I hope to see you in the next video.